Well, it's really nice to have a home opener. You know, we haven't been here for a while to open the season since 22, I believe, and it's really nice to be able to what looks like a pretty good temperature game as well, and we're certainly hoping that a lot of Hog fans are in the stands, and we have a lot of respect for Alabama A&M and their staff. They've got a really good staff. Coach Shade brought in a good staff there. You know, they won their conference over at Miles, and obviously I'm sure that's a big reason. A lot of reasons, but I'm sure that's one of the reasons that he was able to get that A&M job. They've got a lot of new people. You know, brought some kids over from Miles as well, and you know, so we're doing back and forth watching with Alabama A&M from last year to see the players that we're going to see this year, and certainly Miles College from offensive and defensive special teams standpoint. So excited about getting our team out there, and we need to play smart football, penalty-free football. Well, we've got to hang on to the football, and we have to play to our standard. What our expectations of our team is, and that's going to be a mantra of us all season. We've got a good team, but we have to put a good team out there every Saturday. And if any indication came off of Friday, I thought we did a really good job in the mock game Friday, and our special teams were really good, and we flew around, and so I was proud about what we did Friday night, and Starsick made all his kicks, and so we're ready to go and excited to have play somebody else other than ourselves, and again have high respect for Alabama A&M.
Yeah, Coach, you feel like you got everything accomplished that you wanted to be accomplished, and what do you think you're going to find out about your team on Saturday?
I do. You know, I feel like we've done a good job. I've got a good coaching staff, and I feel like we've done a good job. We have an older team than what we've had in the past, which is anytime you get a team that's led by the players, you sure are going to have a big advantage when times get tough out there. Yeah, I think we did. You know, there were some things that certainly speed-wise that we saw Friday night. We're a fast team, and we wanted to see that, and we're a big team. So we still have some competition battles. Will go on today, tomorrow, and Wednesday to see who actually runs out there with the ones. But for the most part, we're settled there. And if they're an or on your depth chart, you'll certainly see them play a lot of ball as well.
As you mentioned, you got competition going, but as for the depth chart that was just released, wide receiver C.J. Brown, Jalen Brown, and Omega Blake, why those three? Obviously, you said you got competition.
Well, you could certainly put Monte Harrison in there as well. In my opinion, he's really had a good fall camp. Just because of the plays that they've made, the consistency that those guys have made, and more probably as important as anything, the speed of Jalen Brown. We want to get it on the field as fast as we possibly can, but we do believe that there's more than those three. But CJ probably was the most consistent guy that we had. Him and Monte, they were probably the most consistent guys we had. And Raylan, with him being out and being hurt, that would have something to do with that as well.
How's the health going in, like Okie, Sorey, some of those guys? How are they doing?
Yeah, David Okie's going to be. He won't play this week. Sorry, we believe will practice today and will be ready for Saturday. Antonio Jordan had a high ankle sprain, so he would be doubtful for Saturday. Other than that, I think the guys that we've had will be ready to go.
Bobby the other day when he was in here, and I know the goal is to win the game, of course, obviously, but last year you got Malachi into the UAPB game, and then when he came into the Tennessee game, it didn't look like he had deer in the headlight, so how important would it be if you get a chance to get KJ some extended action Saturday?
I think any time that you are able to get, especially that position, I go back and look at or think about the Pine Bluff game last year and with Malachi and actually KJ as well. But with Malachi going in, I don't think you can handcuff your offense because you've got to see you've got to develop confidence in whomever's in the game. But I think that really helped Malachi last year. And, obviously if we get fortunate enough at any point this year to play KJ, we'd like to.
Yeah, with Raylan, when do you maybe expect him back? And we saw CJ in slot some, but do you think that's a really good natural spot for him too?
I think we talked about it as a staff, and we think that might be his spot, one that he runs good option routes and is a good blocker as well. Raylan, we expect him to play Saturday, and he was back last week, the latter part of last week, practicing as well.
You've been on the hot seat for maybe 3 years now, it feels like. How do you deal with, does that even enter your thought process?
No, it really doesn't. I'm not on social media or anything like that, and really all that matters is how our team plays, and I can control that to a certain degree, and I can't control what people think about me or what they write about me, so I'm really not really concerned about it.
Kind of a similar question with Trey asked about the wide receivers. You have here on the depth chart Connie and Julian, that won the battle outside, but I know you're going to play everyone. What kind of separated them for week 1 depth chart? Those guys are the names in bold as the starters.
They're big, and they were probably they were the most consistent guys. Actually, Kanai and Julian are, we think, really, really good corners and have size. Again, probably just the most consistent guys. Jaheim, we're very, very positive about Jaheim Singletary as well. And then you go probably to Villa, and would be the next, along with Selman Bridges. But those two guys were the best two corners that we had throughout fall.
When you just look at this offensive line, and I know we've talked about the backups a lot, but as you approach game week, just how much reassurance, confidence does, it feels like 10 deep there, 9 deep there, guys that you have trust in. I mean, how big of a boost is that now that we've arrived at game week?
Yeah, big time. We're also going to have to get Emarion Harris a few reps at left tackle because we haven't done that yet. We've moved him to right guard and to right tackle, but I think we're going to have to look at him a little bit at left tackle as well. But just to have that depth is big time. There's a difference in depth with size too, and we have the size now that can handle the size that we're going to see each and every week. So Eric's done a good job with that group, and even though some of them didn't play for us last year, they played for somebody else. They played. It wasn't like bringing in even some of the guys that we brought in last year that started for us. They hadn't really played much ball at their previous school. These guys here have, and so I'm real confident that we'll be ready. Even though Alabama A&M schematically they bring some, they play a lot of zero coverage, a lot of internal blitzes. They do some things, a lot of movement on their D-line. They do some things that will certainly test our offensive line. But with the veteran guys that we've had up there, very confident in them and confident in at least 9 to 10 deep there.
Sam, you mentioned Marion possibly getting him some reps at left tackle. I assume we'll also see him at both right tackle and right guard. How do you go about that, like going into the game?
That's how we've been practicing. Here last week we practiced him starting at right tackle, and then we've practiced him some starting at right guard. Obviously, you have Kobe Branham and certainly Shaq McCroy, who interchange there. But for the most part, we've had Marion at right tackle and Kobe at right guard. But we do need to make sure that we work Shaq in there to get him. He hadn't, really had much game experience since high school, and we're going to need him. And so we're trying to work that in, but probably the same way that we do at practice. Where we'll keep a fresh guy in there and see what they can do.
You've got a new defensive tackle in Keyshawn Blackstock. Just kind of what was the timing on that? When did he move? What were those conversations like? And what have you seen from him in practice?
I think it was about 6 days ago. Now, we had talked about it a little bit simply because of the depth there at D-line. Now, we're very, very happy with the young freshmen that we have in there. Kevin Otis comes up, Reginald Vaughn. Those guys can play. We're very, very happy with those guys. But to get a veteran, older guy, and he played it in high school as well, Keyshawn was the guy that I went to first and asked him if he could if he'd be interested in, because he wasn't starting on the offensive line, and it wouldn't affect the offense as much as at all, actually, for right now. And we needed him to play when David got hurt. And he's done a good job over there now. He's only practiced 3 times over there, but we have this week to get him ready as well. And I think he'll be ready. He's wanted to do it. He said anything for the team. And so when I talked to him, he was outstanding in that part. But I also think he knew, and we know that he has opportunity to go help us on that D line.
I guess just one more on Blackstock. Are there any previous examples from your coaching career that you can maybe pull from when you talk to a player like that to make this kind of change?
Very seldom, and it happens, but very seldom do you take an offensive lineman and move him to D-line. Very, very, no, I don't know if often the word, but a lot of times you move defensive linemen to offensive line. Moving side to side, yes, I've had a lot of experience with that, but not a lot from moving the O lineman to defense. And but we felt because of his demeanor and the way that he likes to play, that we thought that he could do a good job over there. But really, it was a very easy conversation, and I said, I think this would help us. And first thing out of his mouth, if it'll help the team, I'll do it. And there was and then we took him into the defensive. I took him into the defensive meeting, and they all clapped, and they were all excited that he was over there, which tells you that he's a good teammate as well. So it went really smooth.
Just to follow up, what was the diagnosis on Raylan's injury?
Raylan Sharp, foot. Had a foot injury, and it took a little bit longer than what we thought to get him back, but if last week's any indication, he's ready to go.
And also following up on the right side of the offensive line, what are the ratio of snaps that you're looking to get from each guy at each position between Kobe and a Marion at guard, and then a Marion and Shaq at tackle?
Well, we still have a week of practice, so I don't know what it'll be. We usually decide that on Saturday morning in our coaching staff meeting about how we're going to play the players. So we'll still wait until the end of this week to see how they practice. But we would like to, certainly get all of those 3 guys in the game. Percentage-wise, I'll have to wait till the practice this week and then our coaches meeting.